Here's where I think things have been misunderstood. A lot of people are seeing this moment as, the breaking apart of the MAGA coalition, that there's the sort of, the neocon right who's pushing Trump to go to war, who's pro-Israel. And then you have the MAGA right, which is anti-Israel, which is telling Trump, we have to drop Israel, abandon our ally. This war is not for us. We don't want to go to war. But Tommy, you put it exactly perfectly. The real position of the America First MAGA movement, as far as I can tell, is it is both pro-Israel and anti-war. So we support our ally. We understand that our ally has its interests, its strategic interests, its needs, but we are not going to war for anybody but ourselves. That is the America First position. That is Donald Trump's position. We love Israel. It brings a lot to the table. Our interests are frequently aligned with Israel, but they are not identical. And so we have to be very careful here. So far, what Trump has done, I think, has been perfect. He has lent defensive support to Israel to protect its civilians, but he has declined to actively participate in the war in an offensive way and has used Netanyahu as the bad cop to Trump's good cop to say to the Iranians, I am still open for that deal. You can never have a nuclear weapon. That would hurt American citizens. But if you want to make a deal, I can stop this right now, and we will sit down and make that deal as soon as you are ready. It is absolute brilliant peace through strength Trump doctrine. No one else could have done this, could have walked that narrow path between the people on the far, far right saying, drop Israel, this is none of our business, leave them, and the people kind of more on the neocon side saying, we've got to go into this, we've got to go full throttle, we got to bring the bunker busters and bomb Fotoro ourselves. Trump said no to both of those. He said, what we're going to do is we're going to lend support to our ally, who is a sovereign nation, which has its own interests, which align in some ways here to a point. But the minute the Iranians tell Trump, we are willing to sit down and make a deal that involves no nuclear weapon, Trump is going to want that. And then there will be tension with the Israelis because they will want to keep going. And I think Trump will say to them, no. We told them we want a deal, and we want a deal. Peace through strength. Trump absolutely hates war. It's one of his most fundamental beliefs. He cannot stand to see needless bloodshed. So I think your take was completely right, and I think everybody else is misreading this.
Yes. Well, war in the Middle East is raging as President Trump issues a dire warning. This was just minutes ago. Listen to this quote. Everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. He added in all caps in his Truth Social post, quote, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, emphasizing a red line he has issued again and again and again. Now, this comes as Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth confirms that defensive capabilities have been moved to the Middle East. We learned from Reuters earlier in the day that was to give the United States, quote, options. And there's dramatic new footage of the conflict that continues to pour in like this moment. Watch this. An Iranian state TV broadcast interrupted by an Israeli airstrike.
آنچه که ملاحظه کردید، صدایی که شنیدید، فضای غبارآلوده استودیو.
The images of war. Well, for more on the latest, let's go to Mike Tobin, who's live in Tel Aviv, Israel. Mike.
And Kaylee, we've got new reports in the last few minutes of massive explosions in Tehran itself, and those reports coming through Iranian media. Meantime, we're standing by to see if multiple threats made by the Iranians of incoming ballistic missiles and drones ever materializes. We even got a warning from Israel's Home Front Command saying that an attack was imminent, but it never materialized. It could very well happen at some point this evening, as the attacks have been a part of every every evening since the strikes began, but so far, nothing. Israel has been striking at Iran really relentlessly throughout this process. That strike at Iranian state TV left the building burning. Iranian news agencies report that one woman was killed. Israel did warn civilians before that building was hit. State TV later got back on the air from a backup location. Israel's prime minister has boasted that Iranian air defenses has been degraded to the point that his fighter jets can do whatever they want in the skies over Tehran with minimal threat. Israeli warplanes hit Iranian F-14s while they were still on the ground. Israel also says they struck at some 20 ballistic missiles as they were preparing to launch and took out 1/3 of Iran's missile launchers. Iran has hit back. Some 370 ballistic missiles have been launched at Israel since last Friday, as well as dozens of drones. 8 Israelis were killed yesterday by Iranian strikes. Dozens were injured. Now, following the beating that Iran has endured over the last 4 days, Iran's foreign minister posted on X that his country is ready for de-escalation and a return to the bargaining table. Katie?
Mike, I'm reading these updates as they're coming in, and I see that these explosions in Tehran are described as heavy explosions and air defense activity. This comes, as you see right there in the bottom of the screen, President Trump issued that warning of evacuation in Tehran, echoing what we've heard the Israelis say earlier in the day. What are you hearing on the ground from Israeli officials? Do they expect the U.S. could join in this? As we know, assets have been moved to the Middle East.
Well, you know, there already has been some U.S. involvement in terms of missile interception. I don't think the Israelis expect much more from the Americans at this point, other than support in terms of weaponry and, again, support with those missile interceptions. Kayleigh.
Thank you very much.